Good afternoon, everybody. Terry here, and I am having a big moral dilemma. Actually, to put it in perspective, San Diego's having a moral dilemma. Or, in other words, what to do with the homeless. All right, so right now they're cracking down on people over at Mission Bay, people that are living in their school buses and oversized vehicles. And what they want them to do is, instead of clogging up Mission Bay, they want them to go onto a homeless parking lot area. Now, San Diego has about 4 or 5 of them, and are they nice-ish? Yeah, but you have problems. They have bathrooms, they have showers and everything. But I was watching one, and I know a lot of people that live in their schoolies, so I need your help. It's weighing down hard on my heart because you have the people, the taxpayers, and they're all outraged that they can't find a parking spot over there at Mission Bay because, it's clogged up with the RVs. So, the police are cracking down, and it's like, where do our rights end and their rights begin? Now, I know some of you are looking at you saying, Terry, you aren't homeless, but I've been homeless for 8 years. And you know what? If Mr. Louis has a heart attack, guess who's going to be homeless? Me. I'll be joining you all. So, yeah. Or if we get married, then I won't, and that was my fault. But it's not, I just want to be outraged. It's not right. And, I heard from somebody political, and he called us homeless people a bunch of drug addicts and alcoholics, and that's not true, and that's not fair. A lot of us have disabilities that we can't change. Y'all know me. I go out, I do courtside RTR. I listen to people that live in cars, trucks, vans. I can assure you, 99.9% of the people I know aren't drug addicts, or they are on pain medications, and that's about it, or they smoke the weed, But I'd say who among us doesn't, but not me. It's just not me. But so they want the people to move to homeless parking lots, and my whole thing is, where is my rights? Now, my diagnosis, and the doctor was absolutely correct. The doctor sat me down after years of tests, and observation was a lot of it. And my doctor said to me, due to my memory issues, he said, Terry, I have good news for you and I have bad news for you. And he goes, the good news is your memory will never get any worse. The bad news is your memory will never get any better. So what does that mean to me? It means that if I go to college and try to learn about, I don't know, science, because I love science, with the memory issues I have, just because I learned something today doesn't mean I'm going to know about it tomorrow. It sucks. Even if I visit a place, I won't even know I did something. I will remember I don't remember a lot of emotions or experiences. And that was my doctor's diagnosis with me. And, I went to, for 5 years, I went to church, I prayed, and I cried, and it's like, God, please help me. I don't want this. Let this pass over me. And after 5 years, God said no. So it's like, I know I'm this way. And like I said, a lot of times I don't try. So let's say Mr. Louis dies, and I wind up living in a schoolie. Where are my rights? Why can't I go to Mission Bay and just stay there all day? I'm not dumping my toilet out there. I'm not dumping my trash, or, we're broke. How much trash do we have? We don't have that much trash, Oh my gosh. So, I don't know whether I need comfort or, it's just, it's just heartbreaking. It really is. I know there's a lot of bad things happening in this world, but it's like, I know people, so many people, that they physically can't work, or they're getting Social Security, and Social Security is paying them less than $1,500 a month. And it's like, these geniuses' ideas. So what they do is they get you over there on the homeless parking lot. Then they have social workers, God bless them, because it was a social worker that saved me. And, they try to apply for housing for you. Well, isn't that wonderful? So you're going to, get what? A couple 100,000 people free government housing, which all the taxpayers are going to pay for out of their pockets, because most of these people can't work, you know? So it doesn't make any sense to me. And I have no idea what to do with the homeless. You know, I am so blessed, and hear me out on that. I am so blessed that there was a homeless shelter for me, because when I got to my first homeless shelter, I could barely stand up. I was passing out all the time. I mean, I was in so much shock as to what happened to me. You know, most of my viewers know I was a victim of crimes. My life was a crime. And, you know, but there are a lot of people that I meet that live in their cars, trucks, and vans, that they're fully capable of taking care of themselves. They can cook, they can clean, they clean up after themselves, they go to Planet Fitness and take showers. They're not stinky homeless people. And should they not be allowed a beach view? Is that what we're saying? Because they're poor? You know? It's like, what about me? You know? What about you? Are you a day away from being homeless? You know, or a week or a month? And it's like, you know what? If we don't stand up for these people's rights, we're not going to have any rights, because I don't see this getting any better, you know? I don't watch a lot of political stuff, so please don't put it in the comments below. It's all this person's fault, or it's the last administration's fault. I know whose mouth was running and called us homeless people, a bunch of drug addicts. I know which one's responsible for that, and I don't like that. That don't sit well with me. It's like, you know, it's just, I am all riled up, and I can't think this one through. I know I should have rights, you know, and me, I am so happy to be in my little camper van out at the beach all day, you know, walking my dog or getting my exercise. You know, I don't need locked away. I certainly don't need institutionalized again. I'm pretty good at that. Even though I've been 5150 in the past, you know, and we talked about that. That is basically when you're going to harm yourself or harm others. And it wasn't I was going to harm myself. It was that I could no longer take care of myself. You know, this was just a shell. It did not have my personality. And the doctors could see that. And God bless them for taking care of me. Like I said, I've had so many angels take care of me when I couldn't take care of me. Even Mr. Louie's an angel, you know. I mean, I have my own room. God bless him. I'm safe. I'm not on the streets. You know, every night I know where I'm going to be. But every night I know where I'm going to be right now. How's your forecast looking, huh? You know? What do you think? You know, I mean, you know, I don't want to put down anybody, you know, that lives in their vehicle, because I don't think it's anybody's choice most of the time. Well, no, I can't say that. I was watching a video from the news, and there is this one woman, and she lives in her school bus. She's like 25 to 30. Sorry if I get your age wrong. But she wants to be an artist. So she sits in her vehicle all day, and she learns how to draw and learns how to paint. And do I have a problem with that? No. You know, I mean, we could send you to school at taxpayers' expense. Is that what people want? It's like, for God's sake, leave us alone, you know? All right, I had my say. I had my share. I just had to get this off my chest. As you can tell, I'm probably crying right now. Yeah. Or my voice is off, so I'm really stressed about it. But yeah, I got to think of my future long term. And you know what? I know it doesn't that sound selfish, but it's true. You know, there are so many people that are a day away from homelessness. And it's like, if we take away their rights, wait, now I'm going to get to part two. Okay, 100 years ago, when people were 150 years ago, they were coming out here in the covered wagon. Nobody cared. Nobody said, well, your covered wagon has wooden wheel patches or stuff like that. You know, it's like, you know, we had rights back then, and it seems like, you know, we keep getting our rights taken away. And my other feeling is, boy, I have a lot of feelings this morning, is, okay, so they want to force you to live in a concrete jungle, and then people go crazy. And it's like, maybe that's why we have so many people on drugs and alcohol. It's like just the stress of trying to make that monthly rent payment, or like they call it, I got to make my nut, you know? And it's like the pressure cooker that most people live in, it's crazy. And I'm so glad I don't live in that pressure cooker. Anyhow, no one came out to see me this morning. No fish, no turtles. Why do we have June gloom? Aren't we not in June gloom? Anyhow, put something in the comments for me. Let me know how you think and feel about this really important, riveting issue that we have going on right now. Do homeless people have any rights, and should we have any rights? I think we should. What's your take? All right, I'll see you down the road. Bye.